It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Running to your friends, come on.
Come on, come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still troubled in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Give the answers to your questions because we see that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your wealth. Keep it moving, spirit flowing, because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 and 9, and it's on.
Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show at night, people. It's the Sinclair Show in partnership with WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9, and Greenville Pit Access Television TV 23. The Sinclair Show is sponsored by Carver Cigars. What's your Carver moment? And the Interdenominational Spiritual Training, where increasing your knowledge and relationship with God goes hand in hand. You can catch the Sinclair Show on Sinclair TV, GPAT TV 23. Check your local listings for times and dates. You can also watch on Facebook at The Sinclair Show. Well, what is going on, people? Of course, I am glad to see all of you all popping up as we speak right now. Again, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions, comments, ask me to take a look at something that you want to talk about. That's right. Always glad to bring that in. And tonight we got some good topics, if you will, that we're going to be vibing to. But before I begin and go down that road of making some of y'all mad, whether it's the Me Too movement or the rights of our brothers and sisters out here, let me see who was on the first. Man, Jay Dizzle, what's going on? It seemed like Jay Dizzle was the first one on tonight. What is up, my brother? And see, Ty, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you. Look at Marcus Key is up early in the late evening. There go our brother, Rod Jake, always doing it big. I see Annie Moore. Glad to see you. Hey, y'all, look at my mama. There's my mama. See, that's right. Mama be checking up on me. Let me see. Ty said, you look right spiffy today. Wow, thank you. I'm glad that you approve of the fashion statement. Let me see. James Key, what's going on? Who else do I see? Detective Pamela Black. You know, we always glad to see you. You know, Pamela Black been up here for a long time. It's going to be a long time. Some of y'all is part-time visitors, but these crew been up here for a minute. Listen, people, for those of you who keep sending me your information to the DM to Twitch or wherever, listen, I can only give you a shout out if you let me know you out here in listening land. If I don't see you, if you don't say nothing, like, okay, let me tell you quickly how the system works. I can see that there are counts of people that are in different perspectives looking, whether it's on YouTube or otherwise, right? But some of y'all don't let me know that you out there. So I see a number, but I can't attach it to a face. If you say hello, then it's going to pop up. I'm going to be able to say what's up to you. If you want me to give a shout out to your little bitty cities, I will, or your country. You know, always glad to do that. Let me see who else is. Chanel Rose, what's going on? Bet you she's somewhere smoking a cigar. James said, looks like your hat fell in a box of Fruit Loops. Why? See, if I didn't rock with God on a regular basis, see, I probably would go down a different path, but I'm messing with Jesus today. All right, keep trying to tell y'all stop. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all what I believe. This real talk. I believe that people test you more when they know you be messing with God. I don't know if they think, y'all, I be telling y'all, I don't be wearing them what would Jesus do bracelets. I be wearing them bracelets that'll say, what would God do? Y'all remember when God used to tell you, hey, don't turn around and look. Next thing you know, you be looking for your folks and they a pillar of salt. Keep playing with folks all the time. James, I know James said he did say it was fly. Yeah, James, but sometimes your comments have a little undertone to it. But we're going to, as somebody said to me today, I'm going to give, I'm going to err on the side of giving you the benefit of the doubt. But anyway, so look at people. We got a lot of stuff, specific topics to talk about tonight. But let me say this. Look at Chanel Ross talking about that hat is fire. See that right there? That's called a good eye. Yeah, good eye, good eye, good eye. All right. I'm going to start by saying something to you all. Because some of you all, I ain't even going to say most of y'all, because that would be stereotyping. Some of you all have not been watching these January 6th Congress, these things that they've been going through every few days, and they've been putting them up there. I watched it yesterday, watched about 2 hours of it before I fell asleep. And let me tell you what was crazy that I saw up there. Man, they laid out where, and to my Anglo-Saxon and Caucasian or white homies, let me say this, my brothers and sisters, and I can say that legitimately because I do got about 43% of Anglo-Saxon lurking around in me, so I can say this with all level of confidence. All right, y'all been supporting crazy Trump. Now, when you go back and look at what the evidence that they have amassed, man, y'all was really trying to throw a coup. Not everybody, okay? I got to say it wasn't everybody. But many of you all who are on the Trump bandwagon was willing to throw a coup to overthrow the government to keep that fool in office. Now, let me say that. Let me say it with some respect. I'm going to put a little respect on that fool's name. All right, think about this, people. And this isn't the topic for tonight, but I just couldn't resist. Very cigar or blunt ready. Johnny must be getting ready to get out his profession. He talking about blunts. Anyway, so here's what I want you to envision. So they provided evidence that there came a point in the process when Trump's people, y'all hear God out there? That's the rumblings of the Lord. See, I rocks with him, so it don't scare me. Some of y'all gonna do like your grandma and mama used to tell y'all, you gotta turn out all the lights in the house, get up under the bed, stay quiet, don't say nothing. The Lord is working. But what does the Lord do when the sun is out? He working then too. Anyway, so Donald Trump and his minions conjured up a plan. If any of you know anything about the political process, you know that after everybody takes a vote, normally the individuals who win the most votes, regardless of their party, will get the electoral votes, and they'll vote and cast their votes, and that's how the president is determined. Donald Trump's minions decided that what they were going to do was they were going to draft up some fake electoral individuals for the states that he lost in. Arizona, I think it was Michigan, might have been a couple other ones. So they drafted these documents, fake ones, mind you, and the person that they needed to get them to was then Vice President Mike Pence. And so I read the text messages yesterday where somebody called Vice President Pence's chief of staff and said, well, they texted him and said, hey, we got something we need to get to the VP. And he was asking like, well, what is it that you got to get to him? And they didn't want to tell him what it was. And finally he asked again and they said, we need to get this, some electoral college documents to him because these weren't put in by the archive. Now think about this. It is this crazy that they had actually, we're not talking about at your job or at you putting your name extra in the Christmas hat so you could get the best gifts or at the white elephant thing that y'all do. They was doing this for the presidency of the United States. Okay. Now, Nikki Carter done joined us. I thought we had put her in Sinclair Show timeout for a few. Look at Brother Sizemore. Nice hat, swag on 100. That's what I'm talking about. I like to deal with people with good views and vision. Chris Park said the DOJ would never charge Trump. His prints are all over the scheme. Absolutely. Nikki Carter said he needs to be locked up. Nikki Carter, how are you talking about locked up? You supposed to be on Sinclair show locked down. So I don't even know how you got up here. I'm gonna let you stay tonight because I don't want the Me Too movement to come after me. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and check my those that have got cut. All right. So again, and I'm saying this to my Anglo-Saxon Republican comrades. And again, I'm an independent, so I could tell y'all the truth because I don't care one way or another about what you think. But if you are comfortable, okay, if you are comfortable with casting your vote or somebody manipulating the democratic process, and see, here's the problem. The problem is that we're comfortable when we winning. We're comfortable maneuvering, manipulating, and doing all these things when we think it's to our advantage. But I need to tell the Republican cohorts out here, rest assured, if this process works for you, the Democrats will try it at some point, and you won't have a leg to stand on because if it worked when you were the person conducting the schemes and the underhanded moves, once it works for you, it will have to work for them. So be very careful about what you create as the new standard, if you will. I'm just saying. Nikki Carter said, James Key let me in. I'll block James too. So you mean to say James is out here sneaking folks in the back door? So he doing the same thing that the Republicans were doing? If I block both of y'all, I ain't got to worry about it then. Absolutely. So anyway, to my Anglo-Saxon and Republican counterparts and whatever, however you want to define yourselves, I want everybody, not just them, but I want everybody to look at the evidence that is being presented. All right. Brother Sides must say, I consider myself to be a black conservative. I'm for the conservative conservation of black people. Happy belated Juneteenth. That's what I'm talking about. Watch your mouth. Oh, who you talking to, James? Are you talking? You must be talking to Nikki because I will put both of y'all up this show at the same time tonight. But anyway, so I just want y'all to pay attention to it. There is an enormous amount of information that is being we're not having to guess about it. They got text messages, they got letters, they got all of these things that they're presenting. So if you got time to sit around and watch Cheaters and all this other foolishness that y'all watch, I would suggest you watch that because there's some real things going on and it's going to be a problem. All right. Chris said they already said they only wanted to be used for their benefit. Absolutely. All right. But anyway, look, people, I know I ain't got that much time tonight. We ain't the two and I ain't the one. Okay, well, she put your name out there. Sometimes there's a lot of people that go to jail off who their homies is. She put your name out there, so you're going to get kicked off the show for and when I kick y'all off, I'm kicking y'all for 30 days minimum. Some of y'all already been in like Facebook purgatory or whatever. But anyway, let's get out here and look at some of the things. Now, let me ask y'all a question. All right, I'm going to ask this question and I'm going to let y'all decide. I've got some topics tonight that you guys have put up here for me, right? One of them is an extended, it's going to be deep. Some of them are a little bit more flexible. Y'all might get some laughs out. So I want to know, hold on, my boy Jake said the Republican Party want total control over America. Yeah, but there's a price to pay for that. Okay. Understand something. When you take control of something by force or through ill-gotten ways, you teach people that that's the way to take control over something. And the thing that America has enjoyed for so long is the fact that there is a sector of America that will get mad, but they won't necessarily take certain actions because they've always had a fear of the system. When you remove the fear of the system from regular Americans, then the craziness that you see coming from one side or the other will transfer to everybody. Then you won't just have what we believe to be the worst of society out here killing, manipulating, doing these things. You're going to have masses doing it. So be careful what you open up because once it's acceptable for all. But anyway, the question I'm going to ask y'all, do y'all want to have the serious conversation first and then do the lightweight stuff, or do y'all want to do some lightweight stuff and then do the serious conversation? Because the serious conversation going to have some of y'all mad at me tonight. So which one y'all want first? The first three people that respond, I'm gonna choose what they say. It's either the serious conversation first, or do y'all want something lightweight first? What saith you all the public? Rod said he want the light first. Johnny said the serious. The next person vote. Annie said the serious. Hey, I'm gonna show y'all the order that they came in. Rod said light. Johnny said serious. Let me see. Annie Moore says serious. James says serious. Oh, the serious got it. It's everybody out here wants serious. All right, so let me tell y'all this. Now I need y'all to have my back because I know the Me Too movement is going to get me, and I know some of y'all, some people in the Bible Belt is going to be mad at me because I'm about to get deep with y'all with something, and it's going to come from something you didn't expect. So check this out. Here we go. Let me find it. All right, it's scrolling across the screen. Now it's talking about Dave Chappelle and the fact that he is no longer going to have his former high school theater is no longer going to be named after him. And I know what some of y'all are saying to yourselves. Well, how can this turn into a serious topic? All right. So let's rock with it. Here it says comedian Dave Chappelle has announced that contrary to previous plans, the student theater at his alma mater, Duke Ellington School of Arts in Washington, D.C., will not bear his name. Chappelle announced the decision at a dedication ceremony for the venue. According to the report from the Washington Post, over the last few months, the entertainer has stirred controversy with transphobic comments and jokes that have drawn criticism from civil rights groups and students at the school. During Monday's dedication, Chappelle said he decided to decline the honor because he did not want his name to distract from the students' work at the school. Last year, the Duke Ellington School of the Arts initially postponed the naming of the theater after backlash mounted over Chappelle's Netflix comedy special, The Closer. The set included graphic jokes about transgender women. No matter what they say about The Closer, it is still one of the most watched specials on Netflix, Chappelle said Monday, according to the USA Today. The more you say I can't say something, the more urgent it is for me to say it. It has nothing to do with what you are saying I can't say. It has everything to do with my freedom of artistic expression. The theater will instead be called the Theater for Artistic Freedom and Expression. Now, here's where we about to go to the deep end of the pool. And I don't know where old Raleigh Rawls is tonight, but he is normally the one that tells me, don't go to the deep end of the pool. But I'm going there. All right. And let me begin by saying this, because y'all know I work for God. And when you work for God, you know, you have to give some disclaimers. All right. Sometimes I do it even if I'm doing a sermon or talking to the people. All right. Let me see. What is it? Corey Park said, what's up, Sinclair and the family? All right. Hey, what's going on, big dog? Glad to see you. Cassandra said, hey, for real, though. Hey, Cassandra, what's going on? All right. So let me say this in advance, because sometimes you all will confuse my comments one way or another. Let me begin. Cassandra says she loved a hat. Thank you, Cassandra. Obviously, see, people, I know some people that got good eyes and for fashion. Let me say this. My spiritual beliefs, and this is in case I get reported to the bishop or whoever, my spiritual belief and my job as an employee for Christ requires me to do two things in this moment. Let me tell you my spiritual beliefs. My spiritual beliefs tell me that the choice that some make in who they are in a intimate relationship with is, especially in a non-heterosexual relationship goes against my spiritual beliefs. Okay. That's my disclaimer. I've got that out the way, right? Dr. Beverly Key, glad to see you. I've said to you all many times, it is that same spiritual belief of mine that tells me I'm not the judge of those that choose to. I don't harbor any hate or animosity to them. I've got them in my family, and you can't say nothing about them without me and you having to have come to Jesus, if you will. Because my responsibility is not to cast judgment. It is to provide intellectual insight that might help others to make a particular choice. If you choose not to, then you rock with and ride with how you want to ride with. But I am not going to judge or belittle or demean somebody because of their choices, because it does not align with my spiritual beliefs. Because when you talk about going out there and making people feel comfortable having a relationship with God and Christ, then it can't start with I'm being negative. You can tell a person, hey, I don't support what your lifestyle choice is, without telling them and going negative and doing all these things. So I want to preface it by saying that, because I don't want you all to take what I'm about to say tonight as my support for that particular sector, because it's not. Now that I've done that long disclaimer, and if y'all run back and tell the bishop I can rock with it because my shoulders is broad, I report to God. So let me say this. Here's the other side of it, America. And y'all can I give y'all permission to do what many of y'all do anyway, which is share this to your websites. And some of y'all be turning it in, trying to get me in trouble, but that don't work. America, the reason why, and how this attaches to Dave Chappelle, people were mad because Dave Chappelle was talking about the LGBTQ community, by which he never said anything derogatory. He talked about his own life experience. All right. So now let me say this. America, we/you/ created this conflict that you now have to navigate through because of our ignorance and our arrogance to believe that we could control everything about someone's life. Well, Sinclair, what are you saying before we jump down your throat? Here we go. The LGBTQ, and if I'm missing any of the acronyms, charge it to the game, all right? The LGBTQX, whatever, community began years ago asking for two things. And for those of you who are knowledgeable of this, you can corroborate what I'm saying. The fight that turned into gay couples, transgenders, homosexual people, whatever you want to label them as, fighting for the right to be married wasn't even their goal initially. They didn't care anything about being married. You know what they initially wanted? They wanted the right. This started as a fight about insurance and hospitalization processes. They wanted the right that if the person whom they were in a relationship with got sick, they wanted the right to be in the hospital and to make the decisions. If the person who was sick said, I want this person to make decisions regarding my health, they were not asking for the right to be married. Rod said, even in your best effort, the moment you say anything against it doesn't have to be derogatory. Absolutely. All right. Now, when they asked for that, they were told if you were not married to the individual, in many cases, you couldn't even be in the hospital room because you were not considered to be immediate family. You could not share insurance with them. things that shouldn't have even mattered, because if y'all willing to pay for it, who cares? And if I'm on my deathbed and I say I want somebody in the room, I don't care who it is that I say I want in the room. I should be able to have them in the room. But the arrogance, Kiki Matthews, how you doing? The arrogance of America, the arrogance of those of us on the Bible Belt, if you will, to say, I'm never going to give you that, because giving you that signifies that somehow we are in support of a lifestyle that we don't agree with spiritually. What that caused them to do is that caused the LGBTQ community to grow closer together and to look at legal remedies just to be able to get in the hospital room, just to be able to have insurance with somebody that they were willing to pay for. And so you forced them to go to the Supreme Court, by which the Supreme Court had no ability to make the decisions that they could not. You said they got to be married in order to be in the room, so they went and fought for the right to be married. Now you're mad because they were successful at that. And once they were successful at that, they kept chipping away at it. But America, this is how we got here. We got here because we didn't want them to be in hospital rooms. We wanted to control every aspect of what a person could and could not do, down to when you are about to pass away, down to when you have medical issues. That level of arrogance and ignorance has us here today. If you had said, America, hey, if you want to be in a hospital room, go ahead. They didn't have to go to the Supreme Court and ask to get married. If you'd have said you could share insurance, you didn't even have to be married. You, America, killed the traditional marriage between heterosexual couples. It wasn't the LGBTQ community, because they were not asking for that. It was the ignorance and arrogance of a nation that believes I can control everything. And now here we sit. Okay. And now here we sit with Dave Chappelle, because he spoke about his life experience associated with the LGBTQ community. An uproar started because a power was created. Okay. Rod said, you're right about that. Health and insurance benefits was their goal. The only way they could get at was through marriage. Absolutely. Because we created that ignorant standard. And now, in doing that, you took a group that hid in the shadows mostly, and you caused them to form an alliance. You picked on them to the point where they said, we're going to force America as a judicial system to make a ruling associated with the Constitution, to which the Supreme Court did. And once you let them know what their power and unity was, now anything that is remotely offensive, they almost can get you blackballed. You think about it. There was once a time when you never would have seen a gay couple on public TV. But we got to the point where once you showed that demographic their power, and they knew they had won at the Supreme Court, and then anytime you did something, they could label it as, hey, you ain't give me the job because I'm gay. You acted this way because I'm gay. And companies and organizations became afraid of it. Esther Shepherd, what's going on? Glad to see you. So I say this situation about Dave Chappelle to say this. It is truly a shame that his name will not be on the theater at his alma mater. because nothing that he said was indicative of hate. Right? So you must commend their efforts. We are still waiting for the right voting rights. Absolutely. And so America, the chickens came home to roost, but let's not make it so that we are so confined to fear. And I'm saying this now to the justice system, local, state, federal, that Brother Sizemore said the unfortunate thing is this is how you can be ostracized for not condoning a behavior. Absolutely. Robin Williams, what's going on? And I say these things, and let's talk a moment about what Brother Sizemore said. I should not have to give disclaimers before I make a truthful point. But I am aware that my audience includes some from the LGBTQ community. In fact, there are some supporters, and they know that I have a different spiritual belief, but we are not adversaries because I am not the judge. I know the judge. I talk with the judge, and they understand. So we have an agreement. You know how I feel. I know how you feel. We all know that you don't have to answer to me. I tell you about the positive ways that you can rock with God, and you make a choice on what your spiritual walk is, knowing that we all will have to answer for whatever our track record is here when we go see God at some point, provided that some of y'all get to go see him. So the ostracization of individuals who feel differently is within itself a discriminatory behavior, because you don't get ostracized if you say something about something happening within the Negro community. You don't get ostracized if you say something about what's going on in the Hispanic community. You don't even get ostracized if you say something about what's going on in the white community. You get ostracized because those who say, if you make this comment, anything that sets us back 1 hour, at least talking about 500 years, we're going to jump on it and we're not going to let go. That's the reason why many are scared. We have just as wide a breadth of dollars in the economy in the Negro community as they do in the LGBTQ community. The problem is we don't band together for anything. Anyway, let me get off that soapbox. So for those of you who are going to send me the hate mail, understand I did not say anything negative because I don't have a negative feeling. I have a difference in spiritual philosophy, and what I believe in, I stand firm with, but I also know it is not my place to walk around and belittle, because as y'all say with what would Jesus do? That ain't what he would do. Okay. All right, so let me move forward to the next thing. Let's go to something a little lighter, lightweight, if you will. All right. As y'all are looking at the bottom of the screen, let's talk about this. And I know this is going to sound like it's somewhat of a racist type of statement, but it's truly not. Y'all know your boy. I would never say that anything racist knowingly. Matter of fact, how can I be racist? I could be discriminatory, but I can't really be racist, all right? Yvonne Rouse, what's going on? Glad to see you. And the reason why I can't be racist, because 43%, according to my DNA profile, Anglo-Saxon or Caucasian or Netherlands or over in the UK. So white America, don't get mad at me. I'm part of your brothers. Okay. Benjamin Sizemore said blacks can't be racist. Benjamin Sizemore, that is absolutely wrong. You can be racist if you are a black person. To be racist means you discriminate against somebody simply because of race. Black people can be racist. Okay. If that is the only reason why you have a issue with an individual is simply because of their race, you are by definition a racist. We generally aren't, but we can be. But we can be prejudiced and we can be discriminatory, and they carry the same emotional impact. But as I was saying to my Caucasian comrades, this might sound a little racist to some, but let's read the story. As you see scrolling across the screen at the bottom, major wholesale retailer Costco is facing a lawsuit over alleged mistreatment of the chickens used for its famous $4.99 rotisserie grilled chickens. According to the Food and Wine Legal Impact for Chicken and Chickens, a litigation nonprofit dedicated to making factory farm cruelty a liability, recently announced that it had filed a lawsuit with Animal Law Office on behalf of 2 Costco shareholders. The plaintiffs in the chain said the company is violating its fiduciary duty to shareholders through its illegal neglect and abandonment of animals at its Nebraska chicken processing plant. Okay. It says, president of the Legal Impact for Chicken spoke out against Costco's treatment of the chicken, saying, once lauded as an innovative warehouse club, Costco today represents a grim existence for animals in Nebraska. The suit alleges that Costco raises a variety of birds bred to grow at a startlingly fast and unsustainable rate. This is typical of many large-scale poultry producers. Says these birds struggle to stand upright and regularly suffer organ damage. The lawsuit also alleges Costco fails to provide any realistic method for its disabled birds to reach food and water or to receive individualized veterinarian care. All right. Woo! Now think about it, people. Is Costco out here allegedly? Nikki Carter said, leave Costco alone. It's a rotisserie chicken. First of all, Nikki Carter, if you telling me to leave Costco alone, you better be worried about your own safety and on this show, because you are hanging on by teetering by a mere thread. You ain't even supposed to be up here no way. James said those roids. Let me say this to you all. And I know this is going to hurt some of you all in our Negro communities. But white America, I need to know, how are we suing Costco for making chickens bigger and juicier? Is that really right for us to go against the grain? Let me see. Chris Park said, what about Churches and Popeyes? I don't know nothing about them. You got some information on them, send it to me and I'll do my due diligence. I'll put my crack team on it so we can find out some information. Nikki Carter said, I don't believe it. Listen, I know you don't believe it. That's about your speed not to believe it. Them Costco chickens are very, very large. They do seem extremely juicy. And I must admit, when you look at them legs, them some big legs, they look like Costco chickens is like the equivalent to having a full-figured woman. They got big legs. They're juicy. Okay? So I'm just saying to you, I can't say for sure. Yes, they are delicious. I agree. Even though I should put you off the show, I do believe that Costco's rotisserie chickens, and they're only $4.99. Now, that doesn't mean that if you eat one a day for 6 months, your legs might not get bigger, because if they are, and this is alleged, if they are shooting them up with some steroids, there's no way you could eat that many of them and not get some of the roids in you. Maybe that's why some of y'all getting so fit. Ty Matthew said they look like small turkey legs. See, it's not just me. So I just want to know, I want to ask my Caucasian comrades, why in the world are we suing Costco for juicy chickens that can't run from them? Angela Gorham said, hey, y'all, I feel like I missed a lot, especially with that hat, Sinclair. All right, cool. Brother Sizemore said the chicken pieces sold at Whole Foods is much smaller. By the way, I like full-figure women. Hey, and I'm sure you like full-figure chickens too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Absolutely. Nikki Carter said, overruled. Would y'all like to see me block someone from the show for a few weeks? But anyway, so I'm trying to understand, white America, what's the reason why we got to go into litigation and make those juicy $4.99 chickens go up in price because y'all trying to get the people up in the courthouse? I mean, come on now, it's unfair. It's not like everything in America isn't already skyrocketing in price. You go to the store, everything is expensive. And now y'all want to take away the Costco juicy birds? I think not. We can't have this, America. We cannot allow them to interfere with those fat, juicy rotisserie birds that don your table all the time. Brother Sizemore said, I just hope that chicken don't make you sick. Well, it's not like we're eating them every day, and do like y'all normally do, put a little hot sauce on them. And we heard if you cook them to a certain degree that it's going to kill any bacteria. So throw them in the microwave, get them a little warm. Okay. I'm just saying, these are PETA people. Okay. Angela said, them chickens do look like they on steroids. Yeah, they look like them every time you pop that little plastic top off of them. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yeah, Angela talking about they look like they on steroids. Yes, but the only way you could know that is if you've popped that top off a few of them. And I just want to speak on behalf of those. Listen. And let me say this to all of y'all that's worried about the potential steroids. Anymore said it makes no sense because most of the chickens in the grocery store are huge, at least where I shop. Oh, so you shopping at the full-figure chicken mart. And where might that be so we can all go get big birds if Costco runs if they are foul in the legal system? Let us know where to go get our other birds from. Do tell, if you will. Rod said, here's my take. We are what we eat. Listen to my vegan brother. Nikki Carter said, no one has gotten sick from a Costco chicken. Well, Nikki, it appears that thus thou don't prepare her own food, so she is in defense of them. Cassandra said, y'all tripping. Angela said, if Costco runs afoul with the legal system and has to go treat their birds like pets, that you all can go to Piggly Wiggly near you and you can find you a full-figure chicken with fat, juicy legs and thighs any day of the week. All right. And Annie Moore has seconded that emotion. She said the Piggly Wiggly and Food Lines got full-figured birds too. Well, you know what? I feel a lot better tonight, people, because that means we won't run afoul. Costco, you're on your own. We was going to rock with you in defense of keeping up. Hold on. Let me go back and ask this question. For all of my Piggly Wiggly and Food Line and Walmart shoppers, are there fat, juicy birds? There full-figured chickens. Are they $4.99? Johnny said, these kids are big nowadays from eating them chickens. Well, Johnny, I don't know if it's from eating the chickens, because I was listening. I think it was a comedian, but somebody said that if you drink milk is designed to turn little calves into big cows. So if you're drinking milk, apparently maybe it's coming from that. I don't know. But I just need to know if the full-figured chickens at Walmart and Piggly Wiggly and Food Lion, if they are also $4.99. Annie Moore said, heck no, they are expensive. Well, we better get back to defending Costco because Costco got them $4.99 full-figured birds. I'm just saying. Angela talking about, I'm just tripping, I don't know. Oh, you know. See, the problem is now you done told the whole world that you don't even cook. Johnny said, bro, we drank milk and we're normal size. You think you normal size? You normal size for what? Okay. That's what you saying. You normal size for Margaret Key's work plantation. I'm just trying to tell you that I heard that milk was to make little bitty cows, little bitty calves turn into big cows. So why y'all blaming it on the chickens? Yeah. I'm just saying. And furthermore, to close this topic so we'll get some more things in, white America, I got a question for you. And I say this with the dearest of respect for you. I say this from a place deep down in my spiritual bones. Well, I just want to ask this. How is it that I keep getting the notion that if Negroes grew feathers, y'all would defend us like y'all do them chickens? Because it appears to me that our Caucasian brothers and sisters will go to no expense, to no failed lengths to make sure that they are defending chickens and pigs and cows and anything else that falls under the animal birth. But I've yet to see y'all go out there and put that forth that type of effort in defending Negroes in America who are wrong, shot, and killed, or who don't get paid the same amount for doing the same work, or any of these things. So if we put on some feathers, will you defend us the same way you do these Costco full-figured chickens? I'm just asking. Okay. Just asking. Ty said, we're not valued like livestock. Rod said, it's not one source of growth enhancement in our food. It's meats, fruits, and vegetables. Yeah, well, maybe it's we eating all of those things and sitting up watching TV. I'm just saying, I don't know. Maybe it's not any of what we eat. Maybe it's the fact that we eat it with our feet up, watching TV after 20 hours of work and 3 hours of sleep. Who knows? Okay. Hold on. Maybe a leash. Do y'all see this foolishness that James Keaton said? Now, we were talking about equal rights. Now he want to put us back in slavery days. He want to put something around our neck for white America to walk us around. It's always one, people. I'm telling you, when the movement was going on in the underground, we was trying to save us. It was always one reporting us back to the plantation owner. And I believe that person would likely be talking about maybe we need a leash on to get the right type of benefits from Caucasian America. No, James, we're not going to put any time. You said feathers. Yeah, it's a difference between feathers can still equal freedom. You talking about putting a leash on somebody. See, people? Be careful about them Negroes that want to put chains and leashes on your neck. We not rocking with that. I don't care what type of things y'all get into in the privacy of your own home. Let me go to something else because y'all done made me feel some kind of way. All right. Let me see. What's the next thing on the list? All right. Oh, I know we could talk about that to make y'all laugh a little. Well, it ain't even going to make y'all laugh, but it is interesting. Let's put it on the screen. Jury finds Bill Cosby liable in sexual battery case. Says the Los Angeles jury found embattled comedian Bill Cosby liable in a civil case brought by Judy Huth, H-U-T-H, a woman who claimed he sexually assaulted her as a teenager in the 70s. A legal beagle, Cassandra, can you find out what's the statute of limitations on that? How did they catch Tricky Bill with that? All right. Said a jury comprised of 8 women and 4 men awarded Huth $500,000 in damages. No punitive compensation was awarded. Huth first filed a case in 2014 claiming sexual battery in both intentional and neglect infliction of emotional distress. The original filing stated that the incident happened in 74 when she was 15 years old, but the timeline was later revised to 75 when he was 16. In her complaint, Huth told the meeting told of meeting Cosby at a park where he was filming a movie. After befriending her and her friend, Cosby allegedly invited them to join him at his tennis club. From there, she alleges the comedian invited them to a house where he served young women multiple alcoholic drinks and then took them to Playboy Mansion. She alleged that Cosby knew her age and that of her friends, and he directed the teens if any other Playboy bunnies asked their age, they should say they were 19. She further claimed that Cosby took her to a bedroom in the mansion where he sexually molested her. CNN has reached out to Cosby and ain't get no comment. Man, y'all tripping. Bill, is he going back to jail? No, he ain't going back to jail. This is civil. Here's why I got a problem with this. First of all, they're alleging this happened in the 70s, and you are awarding her $500,000, which is not going to break Bill Cosby, but you're awarding her this all these years later. Can they let the man die of old age and not a heart attack? Hey, apparently not. James said they're just trying to hit his pocket. I agree with you. But we want to know about this. What's the problem? How isn't there a statute of limitations? Man, there's a statute of limitation on most crimes, not called murder. How is it that you can get $500,000 for saying that you went to the Playboy Mansion willfully? Barry Horton, what's going on, big guy? He said that's why she did it, money. Probably so. I just don't. I don't even have a problem with the process. I have a problem with how far back can you go? Nigga said after he did what he did, that's the least he could do. Hold on. Nikki Carter, I've tried to let you stay on this show, but you're going to have to go. I'm not feeling your responses. Think about this, America. Now, you said after he did what he did, that's the least he can do. Let me go back and tell you. I want to read this to you so we can stop with the tomfoolery. She said that she met Bill Cosby at a park where he was filming a movie. He befriended her. Okay, think about this. What is your fast 15, 14-year-old doing in the park trying to meet a movie star in the first place? I'm so sick and tired of people knowing that your kids, your daughters is out here fast as a $2 bill. And when it's beneficial, now you want to get up here and say they were victims. She shouldn't have been out there. How are you befriending Bill Cosby? Okay. Then she said he invited them, not he kidnapped them, not he drugged them and took them down there. He invited them to go to the Playboy Mansion. She said he offered a drink. He offered them some alcohol, right? That's what the allegations are. She didn't say he tied me up and forced the funnel down my throat and poured the liquor down my throat. He offered it to them and they said yes. He said, do you want to go to the Playboy Mansion? They said yes. Now, I'm not saying that Bill Cosby ain't a pervert. I don't know that to be true. Did he do that in the 60s and 70s? Probably. But let's stop acting like we're talking about some victims. Yvonne says she's 64. James says, sad that they were staying at the mansion at 16. Absolutely. Nikki Carter talking about give up the money. God said, leave me be. Okay, but God didn't tell me that. James said, that's sad. Blame the victim. Nikki, she's not a victim. Are you a victim if you out here stargazing, looking to meet up with a star, and you do? I say you can't escape your sins. Chicken coming home to roost. Is it them Costco chickens? Anyway, James said, not him, huh? All right. That sounds like free will to me. Absolutely. Sinclair, if that was your daughter, let me say this to you, Nikki, and I'm glad you asked that question. If I got a daughter that I'm allowing to be out the house at 14, 15 years old, and I don't know where she is, then that's bad parenting on me. And the second part of it is, if she gets out there and she meets an entertainer and she's out there sleeping with him, what you want me to do? You want me to go lock him up because I didn't do a good job parenting? You want me to get somebody locked up because she says she knew she was wrong. And then talking about, she said Bill told her, somebody asked y'all while y'all here at the Playboy Mansion, tell him you 19. You shouldn't be able to get a check from that. So stop doing it now. If Bill Cosby had came and snatched them up in a van and took them somewhere, then yeah, you could absolutely say that not only should Bill be put in that situation, but it should be even worse. But we keep acting like these teenage girls are innocent when your mama, your daddy, or whomever was your guardian knew you wasn't at home. You wasn't at the Playboy Mansion at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You was at the Playboy Mansion late at night. You said you knew you wasn't supposed to be drinking if your parents taught you that. Okay? Barry said it sounds suspicious. Nikki Carter said yes. Taya said you're assuming her parents knew what she was. Taya, stop. I'm so sick and tired of y'all with this foolishness. Let me ask you a question. Can anybody, where my Legal Beagle at? Legal Beagle, can you find me a law or can you find me any type of document where this girl, Judy Huth, her parents filed a missing report for her in 1970s, 74 to 75, saying she didn't know where her child was? See, because Ty, this is that ignorant stuff that we say sometimes. You're assuming that the parents knew what she was. Here's all types of learning schemes to be. Listen to me. If your child ain't at the house and it's late at night and you don't know where they at, then that means you doing one of two things. Either you a bad parent or you should have filed that police report. Okay? Let's stop with this. A whole grown man, no matter. I'm not excusing Bill for what he did. I'm saying you don't get to be a willing participant and then say, oh, I can make some money off it. Because I said California law allows victims underage sexual abuse to file civil lawsuit decades after the alleged incident take place. All right, thanks, Legal Beagle. Then he says she resided there. All right. I wonder, did she go home and report what happened to her parents? Probably not. You're not going to go home and report to your parents that you was hanging out with a star and drinking and you was at the Playboy Mansion and this, and that. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. We keep making up excuses. Okay? Nigga talking about, so because she's out at night late, she deserves whatever happened. Okay, listen to how I say this, Nikki Carter. The answer to your question is yes. If you fast enough to be out there in them streets, chasing down all of these things, you don't get to free will. You don't get to go out here and put yourself in these scenarios and then act like a victim when where you went and what you did should have been known. As they like to say in the legal system, a reasonable person could have derived at that. Okay? Now, I don't care if y'all don't like it. That's the facts. So if California law allows, she's within her rights. Yes, she's within her rights because she took him, she pursued it, and she won that for $500,000. Okay? You say that's what's wrong, Sinclair. Okay, so Nikki Carter, tell me this. When does a willing participant assume responsibility for their actions? In your eyes? Tell me that. Okay, you said good for her that she got the money. I want you to tell me, Nikki Carter specifically, when does a willing participant assume responsibilities for the actions that she willfully participated in? You said she made herself a victim when she said she was 19. Yeah, I agree with that. After they win the court case, I agree with that. Again, people, and some of y'all gonna think I'm harsh, but I cringe each time I hear somebody say that they're smart enough and knowledgeable enough to go, whether it's to a movie set, to a concert, whether it's R. Kelly or anybody else. These teens are smart enough to go there looking for something. I want to be a star. I want to be a singer. I want to be whatever. They're smart enough to say, And mind you, we're not going to go back to half of them is already being intimate with somebody their own age or around their age anyway. We're not going to get into that fight. They're smart enough to know the scheme on how to get there. They're smart enough to go there and pretend like they grown. They're smart enough to go there and willfully make up the lies, as James said, about their age. They're smart enough to do all of that. But you're saying, oh, but they had no way of knowing what was going to happen. Stop lying, people. 14 and 15-year-old is a willing participant for a predator. 14 and 15 years old who are out here in grown folks' world doing grown folks' thing is a participant in predatory behavior. James Key doing cosigning foolishness. Ty, they are mischievous enough to figure out where to go and how to do these things. If they were smart, they wouldn't be there. James said, not if they ain't or there. Absolutely. James say out. Exactly. And this is the thing. Again, because we keep removing responsibility is the reason why they keep doing it. If you don't know where your child is and they 14 years old and it's 11 o'clock at night, it's on you. Okay. I'm going to say it. And if you don't want to accept your parental liability for the decisions that you make, okay, then that's what the real problem is. You didn't care enough about where your 14-year-old was. That's why Bill Cosby or R. Kelly or whoever was able to easily talk them into, hey, come on, hang out with me, because they didn't have to get home by a certain time. So let's stop with that foolishness that y'all consistently do, which is the reason why so many of our young women get taken advantage of and put in these situations, because you let them hang out in grown folks' world, and then you get mad when what hanging out, you know what? Most of y'all would do the same thing if you was hanging out there. You'd have a few drinks with Bill Cosby and wind up at the Playboy Mansion. But you're mad when these young girls are out here, you want to call them victims. No, they wasn't a victim. Either they was a victim of your poor parenting or they was a willing participant. You make up your mind. Even still, he should go to jail. You know what? I'm glad you said that, Nikki. You're definitely getting kicked off the show. But check this out. Here's my question to you all then. Since you can go back that far, white America, the Nikki Carters of the world, and everybody else in defense of these situations, are we going to go back to the 70s to get the non-black entertainers that were marrying and sleeping with 14 and 15-year-olds? Here's a few names for you if you need them. How about Jerry Lee Lewis? Rock and roll pioneer Jerry Lee Lewis divorced his second wife, wasn't even finalized when he got hitched again to his 13-year-old third cousin, Myra Gale Brown, who reportedly still believed in Santa Claus when they wed in 1957. What we gonna do about them? Come on now. No, y'all gotta have something y'all want to say about that. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin. Okay, if I can't interest you in being mad at Jerry Lee Lewis, how about Don Johnson? Y'all loved him, Mr. Miami Vice himself. Best known these days as from being on Miami Vice and Working Girls and parents of 50 Shades of Grey. Dakota Johnson, Don Johnson, Melanie Griffin met when he was 23 and she was 14. Griffin was 15 when they moved in together. Are you going to get Don Johnson? Okay, maybe I can't interest you in doing that. What about Fergie? Okay, it's not just men that's doing this. Fergie, from the group, the Black Eyed Peas, she was 23 when she dated Justin Timberlake, who was 16 at the time. What about your boy Elvis Presley? Okay, Elvis Presley was 24 and arguably one of the world's biggest stars when he met 14-year-old Priscilla in 1959. He was stationed in Germany during his military service. They began dating, and the King and Priscilla had a long-distance romance when he returned to the U.S. and was discharged in 1960. So it's just amazing to me that everybody black is a predator and needs to be locked up or be sued, But it seems like white America, we're not chasing them. That shouldn't even be legal, but the sanctimonious Christian right sanctifies anything that falls under marital law. James said, but we start with the brother. Hey, I agree, James. Nikki Carter talking about get him too. Angela said, that's white America. Hey, all I'm saying to y'all is, and I hate we ain't got time to do some of these other ones. Let me see what else I had up here, because I ain't going to keep y'all tonight. We'll talk about some of this other stuff next time. But I say this in all sincerity, people. The reality of it is while I'm not defending Bill Cosby, because truthfully, I've said on this show many a times, I believe he's guilty. I believe Bill Cosby himself confessed on many interviews to putting what was back then Spanish fly and other things in women's drinks. So I'm not making him a victim by any means. I just find it hypocritical that when women say Bill Cosby invited me over to his apartment or to his house, and I told him I wasn't feeling well, and he brought me something and said, take these, it's going to make you feel a little better. I got a problem with, why was you over Bill Cosby's house or his hotel room at 11 o'clock at night? The same reason. Why was the girl at Mike Tyson's room, she left when lockdown to go be at Mike Tyson's room because she wanted to be with him and allegedly got mad when he wouldn't walk her to the car. R. Kelly. Folks' mamas was taking them and letting their daughter stay with R. Kelly for weekends because they were reaping benefit from it. I could go on and on and on. I'm just trying to understand why we can't ever seem to find the type of legal fortitude to get white American men who do it, or women in the case of Fergie, but y'all will jump down and say, look, well, I stand with them to get the blacks. Okay? Nikki Carter talking about that means he doesn't get to do whatever. I'm not saying that he does. Okay. But I'm also saying, let's stop acting like everybody that there aren't people out here right now. You and I know you could go to any high school today and see them out there dressed with all of their bodies exposed. They leave a house like that. They mama dressing like that in many cases. You got 3 generations in the household dressing the same way, like they out there tricking on the streets. And then you expect that there's no consequence. You expect that some man out here is supposed to be asking your daughter who's outside the house at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning at 14 years old. You think he's going to be asking her, let me get a picture of your ID. No, your mom and daddy ought to make sure they're getting a picture of you in your room. But since we ain't doing that and we're making up excuses, well, I couldn't have known where they were. You knew they weren't in the house. Well, maybe they told me they were going over their friend's house. Well, maybe you should have checked. Stop making up excuses as to why you were poor parents because you were so busy trying to let them do whatever they wanted to do that you didn't step up and do what you were supposed to do. And so when something happened, it's like, whoa, it's me, my baby. Let me get this check. You know what? Y'all about to get off my show.
It's about that time.
I'm gonna see y'all next week. For those of you all who choose to return.
Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
You ain't gonna be back next
friends,
week.
come on.
It's
a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is
not gonna be on the
Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still trouble in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong.